Taste of Tennis Live. What's in your kitchen? Today I am making one of the things that makes me most excited to cook for people, and that's a great steak. But you know what? More times than not, it's not complicated. It's actually really easy to do, and the benefit is it's so rewarding. It's so rewarding to cook a really beautiful piece of meat for the people you love, and even the ones you don't, because they'll love it anyways. Here we started off with a porterhouse. So porterhouse, you have the New York strip on this side, and you have a piece of the filet on that side. This is what they call the Mac Daddy of steaks. They call this the Rolls Royce of steaks. Okay, so if you want to treat yourself, this is the cut. My favorite happens to be actually a ribeye, but this is really amazing. We start off here with, I have 3 things to season the steak with. We have brown sugar, kosher salt, and freshly ground black pepper, and I'm heating up a skillet really nice and hot. Getting it nice and hot will create a really nice char on the top, a nice crust, and that's what we look for in a great steak. Now, anytime we have fat on a steak, I like to add brown sugar because that crust, when that brown sugar just melts with the fat, when that fire hits, that heat hits the brown sugar, it just aids into that caramelization so well. So this nice coat of the brown sugar goes on. Then we hit it with salt and pepper. I like to freshly grind my black pepper. I put it in the blender, get peppercorns put in the blender, and that it just becomes so floral and aromatic. Now, we let this sit, typically we would let this sit out for about 30 seconds, but I've had this steak out for a few minutes. We like to get it to room temperature. It helps in the cooking process. Right here I have canola oil, and canola oil, it has a high heat before it breaks down, so that's what you want. You don't want to mess around with olive oil or just butter right from the get. We're going to add butter in a little bit. Can you open the door so it doesn't smoke up? All right, so here we start off seasoning side down, and it's going to go right into the pan. Woo, beautiful. Now we don't mess with it, we don't touch it, we just let it cook for a couple of minutes, okay? Now something like this is going to take anywhere between 5 to 7 minutes. Okay. There we go. All right, so we let that bubble up, and it's okay if it bubbles up like so. In the meantime, we're going to make our mushroom ragu. We started off here with some portobello caps, nice and hearty. When you're shopping for mushrooms, you want to make sure you look for this firmness, even in color. Okay. All right, so we're going to get a couple cloves of garlic, and we're going to smash them. Okay. Smashing them gets its natural oils out and the flavor's working. Of course, it's all about maximum flavor. All right, do a little smashing like that. Now, if you want to add, by the way, a lot of Spaniards, they cook with the garlic peels as well, and you can do that too. Okay, beautiful. All right, so we're going to set that aside. Okay, and then I also have rosemary, and that's going to help me flavor up the mushrooms, the onions, the garlic. Okay. All right, so here we go. Give this a quick chop, set aside. We're going to chop up these mushrooms. Now, you can chop up your mushrooms 1/4 inch thick. This is what I did right here. Some people like them a little thicker, and that's okay as well. You can do them 1/2 inch. You could keep them whole as well. All right, 2 good handfuls is perfect. This type of steak, it's good enough for 2 to 4 people, depends on how you slice it up. So 2 handfuls of mushrooms is perfect. Yeah. I'm gonna grab an onion real quick. Yes, fill that right up. All right. So now I'm gonna peel up this beautiful onion like so. We take off the 2 sides. Okay. Put this over here. Let's check on our steak. Oh yeah, that is beautiful. That's the crust I was talking about, guys. Okay. So we're gonna let that cook for, again, another 5 minutes or so. And that'll get you to a really nice medium rare, which is the perfect temperature that you actually want to enjoy a nice porterhouse. Okay, so we're going to slice up the onions 1/4 inch thick as well. We want to make them kind of like close to the thickness of the mushrooms. Beautiful. Okay, so now we're at this level right here. This beautiful. Oh my gosh, gorgeous. All right, I like to actually move it around now to make sure that all the sides, especially this side of the New York strip that has a really nice fatty layer, that it gets nice, sealed, and caramelized. Okay. Awesome. Okay. So now at this point, I'm gonna add the rest of my entire garlic clove. It's gonna go right into here just like that. And it's gonna just cook. It's gonna start flavoring that oil. And we're gonna start the flavoring process now. Now goes in the rosemary, the mushrooms. Oh, the smell in here is insane. Okay. A little bit more of the rosemary, more of the onion, and then the garlic that we chopped. And we want to keep that over the top like so for another couple of minutes, because that's going to be the last that goes into the oil. So we're going to let that work for a couple more minutes. Get a close-up of this. Now, if you don't have a porterhouse at home, you can do this with a filet, you can do this with a skirt steak, you can do this with almost anything. And honestly, if you don't have, if you don't want to do it with red meat or you don't have red meat, you could do this with chicken as well. It's a delicious recipe with a chicken. So now, we're gonna make sure that these onions they touch. Yeah. We want to make sure that all the veggies here and the aromatics are getting touched by this flavorful oil. Now, as this is cooking, the juices from the steak are coming out and it's already been seasoned. It has that deliciousness from the brown sugar. Oh boy. This is crazy. Steak maximum flavor style. Oh my God. Here we go. Also, if you don't have portobello mushrooms, cremini mushrooms will work, white cat mushrooms will work, gnocchis, oysters, whatever you can get your hands on to really create that umami flavor. Once you cut into that juicy steak with that mushroom and the onion, it's euphoric. Okay, so now this porterhouse is just about ready. So let's put this onto a plate right here. Okay, and it's time for us to finish this sauce. So we finish this by adding butter. That's called mounting a sauce. Okay. Okay. So that just adds to the sheen and the viscosity. Beautiful. Okay. So that rosemary is really coming together with the garlic, the onion. You get that little bite from the peppers coming out here. And again, we've done this in just a few minutes. Easy, extremely delicious. We'll turn off the heat right here because this is where we've got that beautiful gloss already on our mushrooms and the onions. Okay, so let's pour that up like so. Oh boy. Put that right over the top. Yeah. This gets me so excited. And then for those people that actually love the garlic, put that on the side. And there you have it, guys. That is a steak done maximum flavor style.